Have you ever stopped to think about why habits have such a powerful hold on our lives? How some behaviors become automatic, almost like second nature, while others take conscious effort to maintain. In The Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg dives deep into the science behind habits, revealing how they shape our daily actions, influence our decisions, and ultimately define who we are. Today, I'll walk you through the key insights from this groundbreaking book and show you exactly how you can use these ideas to change your habits and transform your life. At its core, a habit is a behavior that has been repeated enough times to become automatic. Our brains create habits as a way to conserve mental energy. Imagine if every single action you took, from brushing your teeth to driving to work, required full conscious thought. That would be exhausting. Instead, habits allow us to perform these tasks with little or no conscious effort. But while this automation can be helpful, it can also trap us in cycles of behavior that are harmful or unproductive. Charles Duhigg explains that every habit operates within a simple loop consisting of three parts: the cue, the routine, and the reward. The cue is a trigger that tells your brain to start a behavior. It could be anything: a specific time of day, an emotional state, or even a particular place. The routine is the behavior itself, the action you take in response to the cue. Finally, the reward is the benefit your brain receives from the behavior, which reinforces the habit and encourages your brain to repeat it in the future. Let's break down this habit loop with a common example. Imagine it's mid-afternoon and you suddenly feel tired and distracted. This feeling of fatigue is the cue. In response, you decide to grab a sugary snack from the vending machine. That's the routine. The sugar rush and temporary energy boosts serve as the reward, because your brain associates the snack with relief from tiredness. The habit loop is reinforced, making it more likely you'll reach for that snack again the next time you feel tired. But here's the important part. While the cue and reward tend to stay consistent, the routine can be changed. This is what Duhigg calls the golden rule of habit change. Instead of trying to eliminate a habit entirely, which is often very difficult, you keep the same cue and reward, but replace the routine with a different behavior that delivers a similar benefit. For example, if your cue is stress and your reward is relaxation, instead of smoking a cigarette, which is the routine, you might try deep breathing exercises or going for a short walk. These alternative routines provide a similar reward, helping to break the old habit and establish a new one. One compelling story Duhigg shares involves a man named Tony, who struggled with smoking for years. Tony's cue was stress, and his reward was relief. When Tony replaced his cigarette breaks with chewing gum, he managed to satisfy the same oral fixation and stress relief he craved, making it much easier to quit smoking. This small change in routine made all the difference. Belief plays a crucial role in habit change. Without believing that change is possible, it's much harder to stick to new habits. Support systems, like communities or groups, often provide this belief. Alcoholics Anonymous, for example, is effective partly because it fosters a strong belief in the possibility of recovery through shared experience and encouragement. Habits don't just affect individuals, they also shape organizations and societies. Businesses develop habits in their culture that can drive either success or failure. Duhigg tells the story of Alcoa, a large manufacturing company that drastically improved its safety record under the leadership of CEO Paul O'Neill. Instead of focusing on profits, O'Neill made worker safety the company's top priority, encouraging employees to adopt new safety habits. This cultural shift led to a dramatic reduction in workplace injuries, which in turn increased productivity and profits. Another example is Starbucks, which invests heavily in training employees to handle stressful situations with specific habits. Employees learn routines such as taking a deep breath before responding to an upset customer and using positive language. These habits help create a consistent and positive customer experience, even under pressure. To change your habits, start by identifying your cues. Pay attention to when, where, and how your habits occur. Are they triggered by boredom, stress, or certain times of day? Once you recognize your cues, analyze your rewards. Ask yourself what craving your habit actually satisfies. Sometimes the reward isn't as obvious as it seems. Experiment with different routines that provide the same reward. This trial and error process helps you find new behaviors that can replace old habits. Keep in mind, though, that changing habits takes time and patience. Willpower alone isn't enough because habits operate automatically. Instead, focus on designing your environment to support new habits. Remove temptations that trigger bad habits and create reminders or triggers for good ones. For example, if you want to exercise more, leave your workout clothes visible and schedule specific times for exercise. Building keystone habits that lead to positive changes in many areas of life is a powerful way to create lasting transformation. Regular exercise is a great example. People who start exercising often experience improvements in their diet, productivity, and overall mood. In conclusion, the power of habit teaches us that habits are not destiny. They are patterns that can be understood and reshaped. By mastering the habit loop, identifying cues, experimenting with routines, and understanding rewards, you can take control of your behaviors and create meaningful change in your life. Remember, change requires belief, patience, and effort. Start small, build momentum, and over time, your new habits will become automatic. If you want to unlock your full potential, mastering your habits is the first step. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you, please subscribe, like, and share your own habit stories in the comments. See you next time.